you have to follow the right order when you're applying for business funding or you're going to get denied. Look, if you want to maximize your approvals, you need to know that there's an order of funding that you want to apply for. If you get this order wrong, if you're just randomly applying for funding online without following a particular sequence, well, then you're either going to not get approved or not get approved for nearly as much as you could. So where do we start? We start with something like credit card stacking. Anything that's based on consumer credit, you want to knock out first, and here's why. Because inquiries really matter in the business funding world. Once you start to acquire inquiries on your consumer credit report, the probability of being able to get approved lessens and lessens and lessens. The approval amounts get less and less and less. So any kind of funding that's based primarily on consumer credit, like credit card stacking, you want to knock out first. Those inquiries are like gold. You want to make sure you're applying for those accounts before you apply for anything else. Next, beyond that, you want to apply for anything asset-based lending wise. So what I mean by that is that any kind of funding that's based on you having some kind of collateral as your asset, you want to knock out next. Stocks, bonds, 401ks, IRAs, cryptocurrency, IP, trademarks, business licenses, any of this stuff can actually qualify. The reason for this is that you'll probably get more funding in this section than you think you will get, and the interest rates are the lowest that you're going to find of any other kind of funding. So you want to get this funding next. Now, the third option, the third thing to do next is you want to go to any kind of banks that actually offer financing. And you have to be careful here because there's banks that will actually do one inquiry and approve you or qualify you for multiple different products. And those are the ones you want to start with. You want to start with banks that will actually give you multiple different applications on one inquiry. You want to start there, and you have to be particular of what credit bureau the banks are actually pulling. Look, if they're pulling TransUnion, apply there. If they're applying Equifax, apply there. Apply for another one that's looking at Experian, but try to reduce the ones that are looking at all of the bureaus at once to minimize your inquiries. And the last step of this is you want to apply for anything based on your revenue lending, merchant cash advances. That kind of financing comes last because they don't care about inquiries. Inquiries in your credit don't matter at all to them. So you're still able to get just approved for just as much money as you would here if you have 20 inquiries versus one. That's the particular perfect order to apply for business funding to maximize your approvals.